No matter what type of sewing projects you want to do, your new Singer sewing machine can help you achieve it. Your machine has lots of great features that will make your sewing fun and easy. After a brief overview of the basic machine parts, we'll give you a quick demonstration of the complete threading process. Then, we'll go through the threading process again more slowly in a way that allows you to follow along. Let's review the main parts of your machine. The power cord plugs into the side of the machine and then into the wall socket. The foot controller plugs into the side of the machine here. Turn the machine on here with the power switch. The presser foot lifter is located here, and it is used to raise and lower the presser foot. This is your hand wheel used for manually moving the needle up and down. Be sure to always turn the hand wheel counterclockwise. The plus and minus buttons are used for selecting the stitch you want to sew. Just press the buttons until the number of the stitch you want to sew appears on the screen. Pressing the stitch length button allows you to sew the stitches shorter or longer. Pressing the stitch width button allows you to sew the stitches wider or narrower. The reverse button is located here, and it is used to sew stitches in reverse. This is the tension dial. For most of your sewing, you can just leave it set within this range. The Start/Stop button can be used to run the machine without use of the foot controller. Unplug the foot controller, and now the machine can be run by pressing the Start/Stop button. To control the speed of sewing, use the speed control located here. Push it to the right to increase sewing speed, or push it to the left to decrease sewing speed. When sewing without the foot controller, it is possible to significantly reduce your sewing speed by using the Slow button. Press and hold the button to sew stitches very slowly. To resume original speed, just press the Start/Stop button again. When you sew, the machine will stop with the needle in the up position. However, if you press the needle up/down button, the machine will stop sewing with the needle in the down position whenever you stop sewing. This is great for pivoting, doing machine applique, and quilting. This is the thread cutter. When finished sewing, just bring the threads up from the back into the cutter. The thread tails will be trimmed long enough so that the machine doesn't come unthreaded when you start to sew again. This is the extension table. It can be removed when you want to sew small areas like pants hems or children's clothing. It conveniently stores all your machine accessories. When the extension table has been removed, the quilting table can be attached, providing a flat surface for larger projects. The drop feed lever is used to raise and lower the machine feed dogs. To re-engage feed dogs that have been lowered, release the lever and then turn the handwheel counterclockwise one full revolution. We'll show a quick overview of the bobbin winding and threading process first, then we'll demonstrate for you again more slowly so that you can follow along. The bobbin is threaded before you thread the needle. To remove the bobbin from the machine, press the release button to the right of the bobbin cover while pressing down on the left corner. Remove the bobbin cover, then remove the bobbin. Place the thread spool and spool cap on the machine. Bring the thread into this guide. Slip the thread first between the finger and the bobbin winding tension disc. Then wrap it counterclockwise, making sure the thread is pulled securely into the bobbin winding tension disc. Put the thread end into the bobbin. Place the bobbin onto the bobbin winding spindle, push to the right, then step on the foot controller. the bobbin will begin to fill. Stop to trim the thread tail, then continue to fill the bobbin. When the bobbin is full, push it to the left, remove the bobbin from the spindle, then cut the thread. Place the bobbin into the bobbin case, then replace the cover. Now let's go through the bobbin winding and threading process slowly so that you can follow along. Your machine uses a bobbin called Class 15J. Be sure to look for this style of bobbin when purchasing any additional ones from your Singer retailer. Place the thread on the machine with the thread coming off the spool like this. If your thread spool has a groove on the edge, place this end of the spool to the right so your thread doesn't get caught while sewing. Set the spool holder in place. For larger spools of thread, use the large spool holder. For smaller spools of thread, use the small spool holder. Holding the thread end, pull the thread to the left so that it is coming off the spool like this. Bring the thread under this guide. Slide the thread from front to back between the finger and the bobbin winder tension disc. Wrap it counterclockwise around the bobbin winder tension disc, making sure that the thread is securely between the discs. Put the thread end through the bobbin like this, from the center and then out through the hole on the bobbin. Place the bobbin onto the bobbin winding spindle. Push the bobbin and spindle to the right. Hold the end of the thread and then step on the foot controller. The bobbin will begin to fill. Stop to trim the thread tail. Continue to fill the bobbin. It will stop when it is full. Push the bobbin and spindle back to the left before removing the bobbin from the machine. Remove the bobbin from the bobbin winding spindle and cut the thread. To insert a bobbin, raise the presser foot lifter. Raise the needle to its highest position by turning the hand wheel counterclockwise. Place the bobbin into the bobbin case, making sure that the bobbin rotates counterclockwise when you pull the thread. Thread it first into this groove and then out through this groove. Then replace the cover. We'll show you a quick overview of how to thread the upper part of the machine, and then we'll demonstrate for you again more slowly so that you can follow along. To thread the machine, raise the presser foot lifter. Turn the hand wheel counterclockwise until the take-up lever is in its highest position. Place the thread spool and spool cap on the machine. Slip the thread into this guide. Now bring the thread down, around the U-turn, then back up. Bring the thread from right to left so that the thread slips into the eye of the take-up lever. Now bring the thread down again behind the horizontal thread guide. Place the thread behind the guide just above the needle, then thread the needle. Now let's go through the process more slowly so that you can follow along. Raise the presser foot lifter, then raise the take-up lever to its highest position by turning the hand wheel counterclockwise. Place the thread on the machine with the thread coming off the spool like this. If your thread spool has a groove on the edge, place this end of the spool to the right so your thread doesn't get caught while sewing. Set the spool holder in place. For larger spools of thread, use the large spool holder. For smaller spools of thread, use the small spool holder. Bring the thread from the thread spool through the upper thread guide. When you thread the machine, it is helpful to hold the thread between the spool and the top thread guide with your right hand. Now, thread the tension by leading the thread with your left hand down the right channel, around the U-turn, and then up the left channel. Pass the thread from right to left at the top so that the thread slips into the slotted eye of the take-up lever. Bring the thread downward, then slip it behind the horizontal thread guide. Now thread the guide located just above the needle. Your machine features a built-in needle threader to help you thread the needle quickly and effortlessly. Lower the presser foot lifter. With the needle in highest position, press the lever down as far as it will go. The threader automatically swings into the threading position. Pass the thread around the thread guide at the left. Then pass the thread in front of the needle, under the hook, from bottom to top. Release the lever and the thread will pull through the needle's eye from front to back. Now raise the presser foot lifter and pull about 10 inches of thread toward the back. Before you start sewing, you will need to raise the bobbin thread. To do this, hold the upper thread with your left hand. Turn the hand wheel counterclockwise, which will lower and then raise the needle. As you turn the hand wheel, lightly pull the needle thread. The bobbin thread will be drawn up through the hole. Place both threads under the presser foot toward the back. You're now ready to sew. Be sure to test your stitch before you start your project. Place the fabric under the presser foot, then lower the presser foot. Step on the foot controller to begin sewing. When finished sewing, raise the presser foot lifter to remove the fabric. When you sew, if you find that you have a lot of thread accumulating on the underside of the fabric, this means that you have actually threaded the upper thread incorrectly. Raise the presser foot lifter, remove the upper thread, and then rethread the machine. There is a large variety of presser feet available for your machine. Some feet simply snap on or off the machine, while others are attached to a shank and need to be changed using a small screwdriver. Let's take a look at how to change different styles of presser feet. Your machine has a release button on the back. When the small button at the back of the shank is pressed, the foot will release. Place the desired foot on the needle plate, aligning the foot holder with the presser foot pin. Lower the presser foot lifter so that the foot holder snaps onto the foot. Some feet already have the shank attached, so it will be necessary to remove the shank currently on the machine in order to put the new foot on. Use a small screwdriver to loosen the shank on the machine and completely remove the screw. Set the new foot and shank in place, then replace the screw and tighten it securely. Congratulations on the purchase of your new Singer sewing machine. Consult your machine manual for details on using and caring for your machine. For more information, contact Singer at www.singer.com.